Hello, lovely, amazing, beautiful, mystical, magical beings. Again, Allure Mystique, and I wanted to just do this upload just to really check in with everyone. You know, we are in such a shifting time. And I was talking to one of the subscribers, and I thank you so much, my fellow sister and apprentice. And I was starting to kind of go into a message, and I said, you know what, let me actually just go ahead and do this for YouTube. I am doing an audio just because it just works better for me at this time. I'm in a very raw state, and I have been really, really busy with everything that is happening. So this is not going to be necessarily very, very in-depth teaching of a specific thing, but a lot of me just encouraging, supporting, and sharing some of my personal experience with you. You know, I've been very mindful of what I say from the place of I am also experiencing, still evolving, and also processing and discerning a lot of what is happening right now. And so I want to make sure when I share a message that is truly coming from a place of being spirit-led, right? And downloaded without much personal interference in there for this platform. Personal page and things like that, a little bit different. But with coming live and coming on here, what I will say is that, you know, the pandemic, okay, is a thing. We know this, right? And I'm very mindful of how I speak about that, because a lot of stuff is getting flagged when you go into death with certain words. So I'm going to refer to everything as the pandemic, the health pandemic, as well as social or racial pandemic. I'm just going to use those terms interchangeably, because it tends to do better with not being flagged and videos being taken down and censorship. So, what I do want to say is that we are aware that we are going through a major transition and shift. Even if you just look at and research the age of the Aquarius and shifting into that, whether we have already shifted or shifting, you know, different people have opinions on that. But regardless, it's here. It has begun. Okay, there are also definite shifts of changes in reign. And so what that means is, as much as we don't like to often acknowledge this, there is a hierarchy and a rulership that does happen from an energetic and spiritual perspective, which is necessary to maintain and keep the cosmic balance in order, okay, and flow of the universe, or multiverse. And whenever I say universe, understand that I'm also referring to multiverse. It's just kind of embedded to say uni, but we definitely are in a multiverse. So there's some seats that are changing there as well, okay? So there's a lot of cosmic shifts. You can see this with a lot of the retrogrades, a lot of things going with the planets too. Like I said, the different ages coming in. There are a lot more energies that are coming present into our dimension for the first time as well. The earth within herself is a highly evolved, sentient being. And she is shifting. She is not dying in the aspect of she will no longer exist, but she is dying as far as the cycle of life and transformation that includes rebirth, which also includes death. And she has been birthing and rebirthing during this time as well. So a lot of you, myself included, have been feeling all of these things, and there's more, but these are just some major things that's happening. The health pandemic, whether you believe it was created or not, and I'm not going to get into whether it's real or not, but it is a part of the shift. Whether that was the initial intention or not, it is being used as a part of everything that is happening right now, and is playing its role as well. So with everything, many of us have been feeling all of these things. I myself am highly empathic as well. And so it's really important to, during these times, and I'm going to hit a little on the racial, social pandemic as well, to truly rely on your spiritual senses, gifts, abilities, discernment, your highest self, your ancestors, your spirit guides, your spirit team, your third eye, your crown chakra, your higher level of consciousness during this time. With the racial and social pandemic, which this is really not about race. However, race is how it's being portrayed and what is being utilized as a catalyst, as well as what is being utilized as a distraction from certain powers to be. If we really sit and discern it and think about it and look at it from a higher perspective and consciousness, this is about a change and shift in power. Power that has not been in a certain alignment, and power that is not in alignment with the ascension and elevation of the planet, in alignment with the ascension and alignment of us as individuals, whether you believe we're still in 3D, 4D, or 5D, as well as the cosmic shifts that is also occurring. Hopefully you guys can discern and kind of read through the lines on this, okay? Now, personally, I'm going to say this. The reason why I'm being very mindful of what I say is because many of you may know, and if not, I've shared that I work in the social services helping profession. Okay, so I am one that is all about social equality, justice, freedom. I'm very dedicated to Black empowerment and the ascension and elevation of my people. I'm not going to do many disclaimers as far as why I say that, why I do not engage or with like all lives matter rhetoric, etc., etc. There's enough of that out there. If this is offensive to you, it just is. But it's important. And it is a movement. So for me, I worked primarily initially, not necessarily in what you would see on television, not with a lot of high-end clients, those who were wealthy, etc. Most of the clients, when I began, I worked with programs and in environments that was for those who were impoverished, well below the poverty line, underserved, devalued, marginalized, oppressed, subjugated, okay, discriminated against, had very minimal resources, and the list can go on. And so what that looked like was I actually worked with programs who went into certain communities to reach these populations, to bring them access to resources and services, as well as in their homes. So as we would call it, a lot of times we reference it as I was in the trenches, okay? And that's what I've done for the majority of my career. At the time where I established private practice, I did expand my reach, however, still working there as well. I also have a nonprofit as well, okay? So in this case, When I say in the community, we're talking about I was going to places that for all intents and purposes would be considered air quote ghetto, the hood, at risk. I would even be underneath bridges. I would be wherever there was people who I could outreach to provide a service and give them access and to help to connect them with resources, which included therapy, okay, and mental health services. Working with those who have systematically been disenfranchised is a passion of mine. So you can imagine as such, I have been a frontline fighter for quite a while. I have marched, I have protested, I have signed, and I have gone to the Capitol. I have testified for legislation. Like, there's just so many things that I have done because for me, it was important to be a voice of the people, of those who were unheard, whose voice had been silenced and minimized, who did not know they still had a voice and did not know how to express their voices in a way that was actually going to be received politically and socially. So, I have been a frontline worker for quite some time. A couple years ago, I was really, a few years ago, really heavy on the front line, and I really had some challenges with the anger and the rage that I was experiencing because of the lack or perceived lack of progression that was happening. And so one of the things that helped me or that brought me on my spiritual path was just that. Because I just was like, this is in itself is not working. There has to be something else. There has to be something more. And while a part of it definitely is my own personal ascension, which is all interrelated, there was also just this aspect of what else can I do? What is the bigger picture? What can I do from a higher perspective? And as I started to really ask those questions, I began to receive answers from my highest self, within my spirit team, my ancestors, my guides, and thus I started on a different spiritual path. And when I say spiritual, this is not talking about religion. I've said that before, but just to clarify, because for some people, it's still a hard time to separate those two. Spiritual is about your energy essence. It is more metaphysical. This is not about religion at all. You can be both religious and spiritual, but you can surely be religious and not spiritual as well. But when I'm addressing this, that is what I'm talking about. So, fast forward to now, okay, there's been a lot of work that I've done on myself with ascending, with connecting, with healing, with my own shadow work, because we all are on this continuous path. What I say and share with you guys, I am doing or have done and continuously do constantly. And so, as we fast forward to now, I say all that to say that it is really important to rely on, that discernment. As I was saying earlier, your magical gifts, your spiritual gifts and abilities and tools and intuition and guidance and team and highest self and everything else during this time to be able to really discern and see clearly with your third eye, not just your two physical 3D eyes, what is happening right now. And some of us are we're all having shared experiences, but some of us will get different answers because our roles are all very different to play. There's some here specifically to be opposition to everything that's happening. And so what they perceive and receive is going to be different, but it's still important for everyone to do that. Now, I just wanted to encourage that because right now, we are living and experiencing a time, and it has been for a while, that is a highly, highly hypnotic, suggestible state. there is specific programming that is happening daily, continuously, aggressively, politically, socially, economically, okay, right now. And so when I say this is about relying on your magical tools, relying on who you are during this time to be able to clearly discern and to also know what your role, what your purpose is during this process, because we all have one. Whether your role and your purpose is just to make sure you stay grounded and clear, whether your role and your purpose is to heal or to renovate ancestors, whatever that may be, but we all have one. And I'm going to share personally what my challenge has been during this time. I'm a natural, can be a little natural rebellious, okay? And like I said, I'm a freedom fighter. I really am. Liberator. That's naturally who I am. I am a warrior in my spirit when it comes to true energy. But I am also a healer as well. Because to be a warrior is to also heal. To heal is to also be a warrior. I don't separate the two. But I've had way more lifetimes where I have taken up my sword, so to speak. I carry a certain energy, and so that energy at times can have me not reactionary, but very fueled and ignited and ready to go right to the front line, okay? Which is nothing wrong with that. And I say that to say that there's going to be those that are on the front line, as we call that right now, and some that are not, right? But we all play a part. Finding the way that you are to contribute or navigate through this time is what's important. There's a call for people in all levels of this shift, okay? But what's been challenging for me was that piece, because I do have this passion, and it's really deep connection to my people. And when I was about to go to a protest, whether you agree with protests or rioting or whatever, this is more so because all of this is playing a part. It is purposeful. It is a part of the shift. It truly is. My spirit team, my highest self, pulled me back. And so being pulled back was hard, because it made me go inward and figure out why and what was my need to feel like that was the only way that I can serve. And so what was shared and told to me is that this is the time to utilize your magic. All the work that you have been doing during this time, to put it to use intentionally, purposefully. And this is your time. And so it caused me to have to go, okay, this is new. What do I do? How is this going to work? And so it made me go to myself and say, where do you see yourself as a magical being able to affect change outside of yourself, so-calledly, right? It's with them. You get it. And I had to answer some deep questions. And I came out of it going, girl, you a whole ass goddess, right? So you're going to do this thing. And had to go back to my team and to my higher self and say, okay, what is needed? Help me to see and discern and to read and to be clear. And I got my answers, and I'm doing it, and I have done it, and I will continue to do so. And that does not mean that I will never go out on the front line, or I will not be out in whatever way that I so choose. But I say that to say, for me, I was called to a different level at this point in time, a different role. And if I would have just reacted and would not have sat with self and taken that pause, I would not have known that. And the things that I was able to see from doing that was so shifting within itself. and also allowed me to truly rely on my magic, my abilities, and to see some things already take hold and come to fruition. So I say this and I share this just to encourage you to be very mindful during this time, and to make sure that you're sitting with self, and with everything that's going on, that you are still finding and being intentional with your purpose, with your days, with your meditation, with your energy work, because that's what's going to assist during this process. This here is a part. There is a lot more to come, and it's coming. And so it's important to be in a place of alignment, so that you're not caught up in that cycle and that spin that they're trying to push people into, to keep them distracted and to keep from actually effectively initiating and implementing change from whatever perspective that is. And so hopefully, this, like I said, this is more so about encouraging, supporting, and sharing. Like I said, clear yourselves, make sure that you're protecting yourselves, keeping your aura sealed. Connect to Mother Earth, or whatever you call her, Gaia. I call her Terra. That is how she presents to me, because she can help you with managing also and balancing those emotions, and with grounding and seeing the shift in what she has in store and what's coming, so that you are aware. Okay? Meditation, I'm going to, of course, meditation during this time. If no other time, connecting to self, connecting with your ancestors, and the ancestors. The veil is practically been obliterated, okay? So the ancestors as a collective is here, okay? And they are wanting to talk, they are wanting, and they are willing, and they are making moves. So that was what I wanted to share. I did a energy healing video with the last moon cycle, just because I think it's important during this time to, like I said, really keep ourselves in an energetically aligned and clear space, fortified, okay? And so I probably will be doing a little bit more of those, just as things continue to unfold. And so with those videos, all you have to do, the energy never goes away, okay? You can always connect to, you can go back, there's plenty of them on the channel as well, and just be in a state of being open to receive, and just receive the energy, call it forward to you, and that's that. And if you can include it with your meditation, or outside, or with your ancestors, or whatever work, is really powerful. They really are. And I will be doing more of those as well. And I still will be coming back, but it was important to just share that message with you. And like I said, I hope that everyone during this time, I am sending you continuous love, protection, vibrations of alignment and positivity and healing, and also of fierceness, of boldness, of clarity, and of connection to your highest self, your spirit guides, and the all that is. So I will be back with you shortly. Have an amazing, wonderful, magical, mystical day. And until next time, bye.